as far as the six pack goes, first pick, interestingly enough, I am going against the underdog. I'm going against a lot of rules. Did last week, and it didn't pay off, of course, with the
your Brownies.
I mean,
I've been waiting to talk to you about it.
So essentially, as the week went on, the one thing that I think did worry me about that game was that, and I didn't think it would be this big of a deal, but you had Myles Garrett already suspended, obviously, but Olivier Vernon continued to be out, and that really kind of hampers the run defense of Cleveland, which is already bad. And I didn't see Kenyon Drake going for, just running rampant on them, but did kind of see that over ticking up, which, you kind of think about it. Not a good sign because Arizona, you already know what you're getting. So if the over is ticking up, it's probably because of the Browns defense. But yeah, that was a disaster. And
your two off-brand picks, your Broncos and then Browns, Cardinals.
Hey man, you got to keep an open mind. I
get it. It was just I was watching. I was like, Chris is probably throwing things.
Yeah, I was not thrilled. Not thrilled at all. But this week I'm going with kind of an off-brand pick, but I just I feel really confident in it just because of what I've seen out of this team, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. They're -10. They're on the road in Cleveland, actually, and I think that Baltimore is a team that is going to – so they can clinch – they need a Patriots to lose, I believe, and then they can clinch the number one seed. The Patriots lose, and then they take care of business, I believe it is.
No, all they got to do is win.
Yeah, but they're
if the Patriots lose, they
get a bye. They get a bye, but they get the number one seed. They still have to go out and win. So
correct, because they could lose out and the Chiefs win out, and the Chiefs would get it because the Chiefs beat them. But if the Patriots lose, they can't get the one seed over the Ravens.
Right. Yeah. So long story short, they will still be motivated for at least one more week. And this is a Ravens team that if you look back since they acquired Marcus Peters, your boy, who you kind of pointed out that, hey, this may change the whole outlook of this team. And it sure has. Since they acquired him, they've won by 21 over the Jets. Their two close games, a 3-point win over San Francisco, one of the league's top defenses, and a 7-point win over the Bills, another one of the league's top defenses. Besides that, 21 margin of victory against the New York Jets, a 39-point win over the Rams, a 34-point win over the Texans, a 36-point win over the Bengals, a 17-point win over the Patriots, a 14-point win over the Seahawks. So getting some really impressive margins of victory for Baltimore here. I think this is another spot where they are superior. We'll see what happens with Vernon, but that would aid Baltimore in being able to have success even more. And then you look at John Harbaugh on the road in the division in his career is actually 19-12-4, 61% against the spread. And as far as these larger lines, he hasn't actually lost one higher than a touchdown against the spread. So not a large sample, only a few games. But this is a spot where you don't necessarily expect a letdown from a Harbaugh coach team the way you do with certain teams. Like, for example, the Niners last week, or I know we'll talk about Tomlin in a bit as well. So like the Ravens in this spot, just think they're much better. They've been blowing better defenses than Cleveland out. So I actually expect this number to go over that, probably move off the key number of 10 and eventually, because over 80% of the money and bets is coming in on the Ravens in this spot. So you might see it close at 10.5, 11 or something like that.
I actually disagree with you here, and I'm going to be there in a Ned Reed jersey underneath a sweatshirt. As I promised my friend I do every year. I've gone to Cleveland, Baltimore, in Cleveland for the last 8 years, at least. And luckily I'll be in a box, watching other games as well, sitting in the club level bar at times. But and the Ravens have had a ton of success in Cleveland. I've only seen one loss, I think, in all the years that I've gone there. But look, you're buying the Ravens at the peak. I mean, you are. Yeah. I mean, I make this line 7.5, 8. But I mean, to be fair, I can't adjust the Ravens high enough. Every week they're like a number one team in college football that's like dominant, and they're just blowing teams out. You don't normally see this in the NFL. You've seen some Patriots teams in the past do it, but they're just, but what I've gone over in the past, number one, this is a double-digit division underdog and at home, and double-digit dogs in division are since 2003, they're 124, 96, and 6, about 56.5% against the spread. And then there's the familiarity factor. I mean, Cleveland, now there are some things working in Ravens factor. Let me just throw that out first. Huge coaching advantage. Harbaugh's the best, most profitable active coach off a bye. Now, this isn't off of a bye, but they have extra prep playing on last Thursday versus Kitchens. They're coming back off the road. So the Ravens special teams was a mess. They have revenge because the Browns blew them out in Baltimore. So I'm sure they'll be focused. You already mentioned they do need to win regardless what happens on Saturday. But I think Cleveland will really benefit from seeing them the first time. This is, besides the Bengals, this is the first team the Ravens will face that has seen them once before already this season. I think
they did beat the Bengals by 33 the second time, though.
Yeah, but they're the Bengals.
After beating them by 6 at first, so it got better.
But I just think this line is a little inflated. I'm hoping I can get 10.5. And by the way, tell me if this sounds crazy. Jets beat the Steelers. Saints beat the Titans. Colts beat the Panthers. All those could happen, right? Mm-hmm. Next week, Ravens beat the Steelers. Texans beat the Titans. Colts beat the Jags. All those could happen, right? Sounds reasonable, right? Browns win out, and that happens. They go to the playoffs. In a 4-way tie at 8-8, they win it. Now, if there's a 3-way tie and the Colts lose to the Jags, they don't go, and the Titans go. So for all you Browns fans out there, you obviously have to beat the Ravens to have a shot, but it's not crazy for the Browns to make the playoffs if they beat Baltimore. This is also their Super Bowl. You got to imagine you're going to get a stinker from the Ravens eventually once.
Now, I'm imagining I'm going to get a stinker from Freddie Kitchens because that's what's been happening. Like, I get
everything.
it.
Look, there's nothing I could say to you X's and O's wise. I mean, Chubb could have a big day if they don't get behind early, and that familiarity factor they've seen Lamar helps them early on. But my argument against you is mainly the number. That's it. I mean, everything you're saying, I can't.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, that's generally my brand is taking, like, and you've done it. You do it most of the year too. Just taking these ugly double-digit underdogs. But especially because when I look at Cleveland's offense and I say, okay, how would you stop Baltimore from blowing you out? Yeah, you're gonna have to score because Baltimore, home, road, wherever, they're gonna put up points, right? So you have to score. Now, Chubb, sure, he'll be fine. But Cleveland's main strength when throwing the ball, they have 2 top-end wide receivers in Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. And Baltimore, that's what Baltimore's been taking away. That's part of the reason I think they blew out the Rams. The Rams couldn't get anything going with any of their wide receivers, and obviously the pressure factor. But I just don't think Mayfield either he'll make mistakes and it won't be good, or they just won't move the football in the air. So I like the matchup. I do understand the number, but again, I try to keep an open mind and go away from the, I'm never going to bet like a straight up trend or number if I don't like the matchup.
Yep. Yeah. But also keep your eye on Kareem Hunt, by the way. He didn't play in the first matchup, and the Ravens like to blitz a lot. For checkdowns, him out of the backfield. The Browns are going to need him if they're going to stay in this.
Oh, yeah.